Alright, hello and welcome back. So, Lucia Dawn got recently buffed, and I think it would be fair to give her a rematch against as Bianca to see how much are they apart now. So, Lucia Dawn is a A-class, at the moment in my case she is pretty much maxed out. She is a A-class, currently on the double S rank because I did rank her up. And the new buff did give her a lot of other options and did increase her overall DPS and overall performance a lot. And it is one of the more necessary buffs that were needed to be in the game because she was one of the weakest units that we had. On the other hand, as Bianca, being the S rank that we all know, is pretty much one of the most powerful structures in the game. Being an S rank and a lightning damage dealer, she has pretty much access to the highest ranks and is currently in the game one of the, if not the strongest character, pretty much on the level of Alpha. Just the difference between Alpha would be the lightning damage that she is doing. So both of them are 80% lighting and 20% physical damage, which is pretty interesting. As for equipment, well, for Lucia Dawn here, we have found out that she has a slightly different build compared to Bianca, and I will use that build because it is proven to be really effective. Now here on screen we are going to be starting with Bianca, and on screen you can see her current equipment and you can see her current memories that I did put on her. So it is pretty much the basic, most basic lightning elemental memory setup that you can have, and at the same time is pretty much one of the best memory setups and builds that you can have for the character. And all the so far the weapon that I have is a 6-star, which will be a big difference compared to the 5-star weapon on Lucia Dawn. Unfortunately, I don't have the 6-star weapon for Lucia Dawn, so that might be one of the reasons why we see such a difference in score, since Lucia Dawn is truly a good character now. She is still not on the level of as Bianca, but she is actually pretty close. So we are pretty much playing. This is the ice map, I think. Yeah, it is the ice map, the third stage of the ice map. And I did pick a neutral ground, since if we played the lightning stage, which I didn't see for like a week now, then we would see her damage being drastically bigger because of the bow that she's using. And to kind of balance things out, I think it will be really appropriate to test him out on a neutral playground. In this case, the ice map, because currently there is literally no ice character in the game, but I think that's about to change in the upcoming patch. And Bianca so far doing a really good job at taking them out. Really simple playstyle of as Bianca, and so far no problems in handling the character. And of course her DPS is also crazy as usual. Well, let's see the score. I guess around 150,000, but we will see in the end, of course. And let's see the score. 175,000. Okay, well, pretty nice. I actually beat my own score there. Well then, let's see how Lucia Dawn will perform here. Now, on screen you can see my current build for the character. It is a build focused on maintaining her ultimate, because her damage, her DPS comes out from her ultimate. And the current memory lineup that I have maximizes lightning damage and maximizes energy regeneration for the ultimate. And as you can see, I can spam the ultimate without any problem. And she's also getting the combos up really quickly. Now, like I said, one big difference between these two characters is that on Bianca I'm using the 6-star weapon, pretty much her signature weapon, while on Lucia Dawn I'm using the 5-star weapon that is fully affixed. So there's the difference between the DPS is definitely coming from the weapons that I'm using. because she doesn't get the necessary buff that she needs from the weapon, and that's where the difference in score will come from. But if I had the signature weapon for the character, then the scores would be really similar, and in some cases this character has the potential to surpass as Bianca in terms of score pretty much on this map, which I find really interesting, since that will bring this character a lot higher up in the meta level and will bring the character in the main teams, which I think she kind of is doing at the moment. But so far I am having a blast playing this character, because she and her combos and her overall moveset and playstyle are truly fun, and one of my favorite playstyles in the game so far. I like the combos, and yeah, only the weapon. I just need the weapon for this character for her to be excellent. I'm really satisfied with her performance. The score isn't so bad. It's 104,000 with a 5-star weapon. That's not for her pretty much. If I had the 6-star weapon, I would get around 150,000 points with ease, which is really close compared to the 100,000 points that we will get with the weapon pre-patch, pre-buff. Really interesting. And that character is now really good, as you can see. Well, we're on to the next map. This is the fire stage. I think, yeah, it is the fire stage. And this is where Bianca is also kind of falling behind in terms of performance, which is really interesting. Mostly because they seem to have, I don't know, they seem to have a, I guess, resistance against this specific character or something. I have no idea. Maybe I'm just imagining things. I think I am just imagining things, but so far I am doing a good job. She's doing a good job at taking them out without much of a problem, which is really interesting. And well, 1 minute left. Now you might be wondering, what character did I enjoy playing more? Did I enjoy playing more as Bianca, or did I have more fun playing Lucia Dawn? Honestly, playing Lucia Dawn is really, should I say, adrenaline inducing, because you're close to the enemies. You don't see anything from the combos because her attacks are really flashy, really shiny, and one mistake can cost her life. So I definitely have a lot more fun playing Lucia Dawn than I have playing as Bianca, mostly because of their playstyle differences. As Bianca plays really easy, and she does forgive mistakes a lot. And you can make mistakes with as Bianca and you can get away with it, because she is a ranged character and has a lot of options for evasion, and has a lot of options to deal damage. Let's see the score here for a moment. Well, let's first see the score, and then I'll continue talking. 150,000, well, pretty okay. Well, Lucia Dawn on the other hand, her playstyle is revolving mostly around precision, and one thing that you might have noticed is that Lucia Dawn isn't forgiving mistakes that much as compared to as Bianca. In terms of, with as Bianca you can get away with making mistakes because she is a ranged, and you can just take distance and, well, let the healer do the job in healing. With Lucia Dawn, her playstyle being revolving around precision and revolving around skill does require a lot more practice to master, and mistakes with this character can be really bad, because her playstyle being also revolving around close quarter combat means that if you get hit, it risks this character's potential dying, or this character's potential switching out. And well, switching out a DPS pretty much has a side effect of you actually losing the DPS and prolonging the battle and pretty much losing points, which isn't so much recommended if you're chasing points, of course. So a medic is definitely really important for the team if you're playing Dawn, or a lot of practice where you master her moveset, master the evasion, master the attacks, and then you maximize the character's potential and the character's performance. In my case, I did play the character for a while. I did play the character a lot more since this buff, and I can tell you, I am absolutely having a lot more fun with this character than compared to as Bianca. But of course, one thing that is kind of troubling me is the weapon. I don't have the 6-star weapon for this character, unfortunately, just yet. So my performance will be a bit lower than compared to as Bianca because I have her weapon. Well then, this was 102,000 points, by the way. Pretty decent. No, sorry, 115,000 points. My apologies. Pretty decent. Almost reached Bianca, so that was interesting to note. As for their performance in clearing several enemies, well, that's a really tricky question because both of them are dealing the damage in a larger area. And I did take this stage specifically because, as you can see, I am making mistakes and she's losing health, she's getting stunned, getting thrown on the ground, getting pretty much getting destroyed. And I lost my DPS, and pretty much if I was playing something more important, I would lose points. And as you later you will see with Bianca that's not quite the case. You can let her be on the field for a very long period of time because she is a ranged. But with this character, you will have to time your evasions really perfectly. And even when you run out of evasion, then you have to switch out the character because you will be in a close quarter combat with them, and without evasion in a close quarter combat, that's not a good idea because you will get hit. While with Bianca, you can just use the yellow skill, jump left or jump right, and pretty much wait for the evasion bar to return, and then you can continue fighting. Well, this is Bianca, of course, and we are playing the same stage, same enemies, of course, same difficulty, and you can immediately notice the differences between the characters and the overall differences between the performance and the playstyle difference in me switching in or switching out. You could see me there with Dawn pretty much being in the middle of the fight, taking all the hits and of course evading all the hits, and pretty much wasting my evasion bar on surviving all these attacks. And I did switch her out, switch her in, switch her out a couple times. Well, with Bianca, I don't have to do that because, well, she is a lot easier to play and, well, she does do more damage than Dawn, which of course will lead to faster clear times and of course less evasions and less switching in or less switching out. Well then, now I stepped up a notch and we are now at the boss battles. This is Rosetta, and as by the title said, they're level 80 and requires 6.5k CP. So this is the middle difficulty, and we will see how much I will need to complete this boss using Dawn, and we will compare how I completed, how I fought the boss and how I completed them. I personally expect a result that will say that I needed less time with Verity than I needed with Lucia Dawn. And this boss is especially tricky to fight with a close quarter fighter because Rosetta is known to be slippery. She's moving left and right, she has her attacks, and microscopic mistakes can be fatal when you're fighting this boss. I did experience that on my personal skin when I fought this boss a couple times before. Little mistake, a fraction of a second mistake, a millisecond mistake, yeah, she is not forgiving at all. And this boss is perfect to test out the stability and pretty much the overall combat and survivability of the character. And well, so far she's doing a good job. I am pretty much happy. I remember previously it was really hard to clear this boss and at this difficulty with Lucia Dawn because of the DPS that she didn't have. Now it is kind of different, but the Rosetta is not giving it easy. But I can definitely tell you that the DPS boost is helping a lot. Okay, let's switch in, switch out. The two healers are definitely a good thing that I have, and a good team so far. Because having this team is good, because I can just heal myself when I need to, and I can give myself buffs when I need to. Really important when playing boss battles like these, because they can be extra challenging. Okay, well, and again, you can see me swinging the sword empty there because short range. Her range is really short. You really have to be close to the enemy to deal any damage. Well, pretty much is to be expected from a melee katana fighter. And we are on 9 bars. I am on 3 minutes. It's important to keep an eye on the timer because 5 minutes and pretty much we have the 60 seconds countdown, and that can be bad. That can be bad because that would mean that the timer is running out and I have to hurry up at taking out the boss. Okay, 3 more bars left, almost there. Well, definitely Rosetta being Rosetta is making this difficult, honestly, because this boss is truly slippery, tricky, and of course me being me, I didn't lower the graphics, so I have no idea what's going on in the field, but we did well. One more hit, and there we go, nice. Well, 4 minutes 8 seconds to clear Rosetta. That was really interesting, and I cleared it finally with Liv because Lucia was about to die. Alright, well, now we're about to fight Rosetta with Bianca, and let's see how this will look. Now immediately you can notice the difference between the range of these two characters. I took 3 bars down from a really long distance, and I took little to no damage. Well, she decided to zap me in return, so that's fine, but no big deal. I switched out the DPS and used my healer tank DPS to pretty much take the damage. Well, okay, she still received the damage that was meant for her. I guess that was inevitable in a way. Well, again we see the same DPS difference because of the weapon that she is using, and we see a really interesting, we see something that we all expected, honestly, and that is our, the timer that I'm seeing there is definitely a lot shorter than on Dawn, and I am doing more damage to Rosetta as expected. And of course the boss battle now appears to be a lot more easier because I am fighting this with a ranged character. Fighting Rosetta with a ranged character is actually a lot more easier than fighting Rosetta with a short range character. And I feel like that's a trend overall in the game at the moment. The long range characters definitely have a advantage over short range ones. They're mostly easier to play, and some of them do really nasty damage. For example, Bianca. She's doing really good damage on a lot of these enemies. And here I have no idea what happened. I forgot how to play. That's the only explanation that I had. So I got zapped a couple times, but no big deal. healer did the job in healing, I guess, and I'm back in action really fast. Well, definitely we see a 2-minute difference between the boss battles. That is also really interesting. That means the damage difference is almost double or twice, depends how you can view it. And it is something that most of people expected, but again, I can assure you, if I had the weapon for the character, I did the calculation pretty much. If I had the weapon for the character for Lucia Dawn, I would get similar timers and I would get similar score as with Bianca, which is really nice. And looks like I finished this the same way I finished with Lucia Dawn. I finished it with Liv because Bianca almost died. Interesting. Okay, well, on to the Nightmare Ball. Again, level 86.5k CP. Important to note because that's the difficulty level that I'm fighting it on at the moment. And let's see how Lucia Dawn will take the boss out. I expect again similar timers that we have seen in the previous boss battles because of the raw difference in damage and overall DPS. Okay, well, let's see. We're doing a good job at taking them out, honestly. I almost got caught by those exploding. I call them spiders, but they might be something else. Alright, sorry for the weird cut. Well, the Nightmare Ball is definitely not giving me an easy time over here. And I'll be honest with you, I died a couple times trying to get a good run on this boss while using Bianca, not with using Dawn. This is pretty much the first run with Dawn, and pretty much the first run was successful. And interestingly enough, I did die with Bianca a couple times. I don't know why, the ball just decided to kill me, I guess. So that was quite funny. But with Dawn, I did have a clear run, which is really interesting. Since with Dawn, this should have been harder. But it turns out it turned out to be easier somehow. I don't know how. I cannot explain how it became easier with Dawn, but it was. And well, the ball is coming down again. I got hit, not a big problem. By the way, the ball is 6.5 CP, second difficulty pretty much will be the second difficulty for the Bianca, of course. For Bianca, of course. Now I lost my evasion, so that means I'll switch my character. Then I will switch to my healers, and then I will pretty much fight them this way this time. And okay, there we go. Well, we're nearing the end for the boss battle with Lucia, and then we will jump with Bianca, and we will see how she will perform. And you might think, is this hard? No, it's actually really fun to play this character. I have fun, and mostly because I am looking for skillful gameplay, like a difficult to play character to master it. And Lucia Dawn turns out to be a really hard to learn how to play character, mostly because of her moveset and of the way she is being played. Well, there we are, Bianca versus the Nightmare Ball, and immediately you can notice me abusing the long range of this character to snipe the ball, and you can actually use that quite efficiently, quite effectively to snipe the ball. In some cases it works, and you can you can make the ball be more predictable by abusing some of the structure ranged attacks. Because if you shoot at the ball from a distance, or if you attack him from a distance, he will just spam the laser. And that way, if you know how to dodge the laser properly, you will have absolutely no problems to dodge the rest of his attacks, which is really interesting. That's something that I was experimenting with, and in some cases it can be really effective. And where is this ball? Still not came down. Well, okay, I'll be patient. I'll wait. If the lasers don't kill me before that is. There we go. The ball came down, and I'm switching the structures. There we go. There's Bianca. 20 paras left. Ultimate ready. And yeah, something that is definitely obvious. She is doing way more damage than Dawn, and it is to be expected. The differences in weapons is what is at the moment the biggest difference, and the biggest score difference. That's what I wanted to say. I almost died there for a moment, and I panicked for a second. That's why I popped the ultimate, and that's why I switched to Bianca to abuse the range, because it works. As you can see, it works pretty good. And the ball is in the 9 health bar region. That means he will transform. There we go. He is transformed now, and well, not transformed, he is broken now. Now we can finish him off. I'll use a wave to heal myself here for a moment. Then let's see, then I'll switch to Bianca probably, and then we will end this boss battle. And then we have Dark Kamui left for the end, and after that the conclusion about this. But so far, really tricky boss battle, and honestly, this felt easier with Lucia Dawn than with as Bianca. And I know that sounds really weird, but that boss felt a lot easier with Lucia Dawn. Well, we are fighting Dark Kamui, and this is one of those bosses that is also really tricky, but is one of the easiest bosses that we have. He is not so difficult. You just need to remember his attack patterns and switch out your structure on time. Don't let her die, and pretty much repeat, which is what I am doing at the moment, and so far it is going pretty smooth, pretty good. And let me see. Well, there we go. No, I like I mentioned this before, but I like my dual healer setup, because I can dual heal and I can boost my DPS at the same time. And at this moment, I am really thinking if I should lower the graphics when I record like this, when I record stuff like this, because I have no idea what's going on the field. But it looks really nice. It looks really, like, the graphics are really good. So you tell me if you value the graphics a lot, since if you enjoy the game for the graphics, well then I will not lower them, of course. But if you want to see more performance in terms of more combat performance, well then tell me, and I will definitely lower the graphics for the better viewing, and of course for the skillful gameplay. Since honestly, I don't see anything what's going on when I pop Lucia Dawn's skills, but so far she's doing a good job. Now I have several tactics that I use with this character, and this is one of them. Pretty much spawn the QTE ultimate and make her collect signals, and then pretty much match the signals quickly, get the ultimate, and keep on the ultimate and fight it that way. That is one of my tactics. Works pretty much always, and is okay. For a second I thought that I died. It looks like I didn't die. I'm alive. Good. And I always forget that they changed the boss. He is more tankier. His attacks changed a little bit. His invincibility is also changed a little bit. He can also now grab you. That's also a nasty attack. That's new, and one of the trickiest ones to dodge, because sometimes it is just out of nowhere. So you have to play like you always expect it, and that's what I'm doing at the moment. And I'm doing a good job at expecting the unexpected. Okay, 7 bars left, well, 6 battles left in the moment, for a couple of seconds, should I say. Alright, and just a little bit more and the boss will be out. A truly long boss battle, I gotta say. Fighting these bosses at this difficulty is, interesting for people who like to watch performance, I guess. Since this is where performance is being tested at the longer boss battle, and so far she is getting definitely a passing mark from him. Of course, like I said, if I tune down the graphics a little bit I would play better, but you tell me in the comment section if you want the graphics to be lowered in order to see the movements better. And one more hit, there we go, he is out. Well, that was a pretty smooth boss battle. I was rotating the characters a lot because it proved to be really effective and it proved to be efficient for healing. Well, he tried to grab me there for a moment right on the start, which is okay, and the ranged superiority is showing its effectiveness. Definitely a lot easier to fight the bosses with as Bianca, with the exception in the Nightmare Ball. I don't know why the Nightmare Ball was harder to fight with as Bianca. I don't know how to explain that. I just don't know. I had like 3 retries with as Bianca while I was fighting the Nightmare Ball, and I had none when I was using Lucia Dawn. I have no idea what happened, I have no idea how it happened, but it did. And well, Lucia Dawn definitely was feeling a lot better for the Nightmare Ball than Bianca. But that also could very well be because I was being tired when I played, because it's like, let me just look at the time. It is exactly 1 AM and I recorded this pretty much at that time, and that also is one of the reasons why I might made these couple mistakes that made me retry. Could be. Okay, well, 11 bars left. A quicker boss battle, obviously, and well, Bianca pretty much dominated this test and this comparison. Now, of course, if I had the 6-star weapon for Lucia Dawn, it would be a lot different. Lucia Dawn might very well be almost on the same pair and on the same level as Bianca. If I had the weapon, the scores would be a lot different, because that's how it usually rolls. But at the moment, as things are, she is really good and she is up to the task after the buff, and right now is a really good character to invest in and to build, because that character is actually really good now. And a couple more hits and he is out. I did do these mistakes because his health was so low and I kind of rushed, but it's okay. Well, there we have it. That was a really nice comparison. Lucia Dawn's buff definitely is bringing her back into the game as one of the more useful units and one of the more fun to play units that rewards skill. Truly a really good character that I personally enjoy, and you can use her now without a problem. And of course we have as Bianca, the top tier elemental damage dealer in the game, that is still at the moment in terms of elemental DPS at the first spot, and she's also really good. Well then, with that being said, I hope you enjoyed. It is my pleasure to play this for you, and well, I will see you next time. Take care.